Earlier today, I announced my new YouTube membership. So I want to start this video out by saying welcome to anyone out there that is new. And also a big fat thank you to all of you for supporting this channel. I am not exaggerating when I say that I would not be here if it weren't for you. So today I am rolling out the very first video that will appear on my YouTube member section. And it's a new type of video that I've been working on. It is a retrospective of my past work, along with my thoughts on it. This time, it's my traditional annual bikini shoots, and I will share my process for these, artistic, technical, and a bunch of other thoughts. For future retrospectives, though, I have other ideas, like using a white backdrop in the studio. Over the years, I've come up with a good, fairly simple way to achieve a bright white backdrop, and I've done a whole slew of portrait shoots that I can use to illustrate my technique to you. So sometimes these retrospectives will be more technical, like the white backdrop idea, but other times it'll be more about my artistic process, like today. Although I will talk a little bit of technical though. Let's get into it. I want to start with this. Why bikini? Why in the world would I put myself out there in a bikini up on the internet? I'm practically begging for criticism on my looks, on my integrity, on my intelligence. I think I have to start with using myself as a model in general. I started almost 9 years ago using myself as a model out of convenience and probably a little bit out of my being totally type A and wanting to control everything. I mean, I'm always here for myself. I didn't have to find and pay for a model. I didn't have to explain what I was thinking. I could experiment with my settings and my setup for as long as I wanted. And then from there, I found myself in the pool demonstrating an underwater camera case for a video, and I got extremely positive results, feedback from you guys. And I was like, okay, bikini equals more views. More views means that I get to do the job that I really like to do and would really like to make my full-time gig, because at that point it wasn't. So I experimented with doing those bikini and boudoir photo shoots sometimes. And I still struggle sometimes that my most popular videos are always the ones where I'm the model and I'm showing some skin, but I also realize that that is what actual models do every day. And most of my viewers, well, you're men. So of course it works, and that's okay. And I try to reconcile that I'm not only a photographer anymore, I'm actually a model too. I just model for myself. It's weird. My job is a little bit strange, and I definitely catch an ample amount of criticism for it. But you know, I actually am in control of my art and my image, and I'm creating work that I'm proud of, and I like that. And, you know, I keep in mind that if I were just, you know, a photographer or a YouTuber out there using a paid model, no one will think twice about it. It's just a little bit odd because I do both, and I think that makes people uncomfortable. So I just try to tell myself that. Anyway, now I make sure that I do one of those bikini shoots every year that is kind of a big project. I travel for it, or I don't know, I buy something for it. But while the artistic process is typically similar, there are differences in the technical side, and there are always challenges that arise. So let's talk about those. Let's start with the artistic process. This is a particularly challenging area because I have to come up with a different look every year and with the same model. And that needs to be not only different from other bikini looks, but it needs to be different from overall, like all of the looks of my other photo shoots. So I do things like I try to come up with different locations. I mean, this was from 2010 and it was just in my studio. That's that white backdrop I was talking about. And in this one, I was playing around with being more creative as a model. I actually, you know, this was early on and I didn't really know how to do it yet. I mean, not that I still totally know how to do it, but for this one, I actually looked through the Victoria's Secret bathing suit catalog for posing inspiration during the shoot, and I just tried to mimic those poses. But then through the years, I got more creative. I tried different locations, like in the pool or by the pool, or introducing a pool lounger as a prop, and even my bathroom, until I actually got up the courage to do a beach bikini shoot. it definitely felt strange that I hadn't done one there because it seems obvious, but I guess I like to do things in my photography that aren't expected or not obvious. So that, in combination with my insecurity of being photographed at a public beach, made me shy away from it until last year anyway. And this was kind of a riot. We actually went to the beach twice to do 2 sets of photos that I edited differently to get different looks. And well, it was just weird. It was weird to be on a public beach, but I did it. Now you'll notice that I'm wearing the same bathing suit in some of these, and that's because of another challenge that I always have: budget. I try to reuse everything and only purchase things for shoots that I think that I'll use again, or that I'll use in real life, because I can't charge a bikini as a business expense. All of this comes out of my personal pocket. So a little more about my creative process. My photo shoots start and end with me. I may get help along the way with taking the photos, which I'll discuss more of in just a minute, but I am in control of everything. Every detail in these photos was planned out by me and created by me. So the shoots often end up being months in the making while I'm developing them. Like, let's take this shot for instance. I was really specific about how I wanted this particular shot. I wanted my sunglasses on my head in that way. I wanted to be kind of, you know, having a good time. I wanted a genuine smile. I had Raymond tell me a joke. So, I mean, all of these things are just super thought out. I get my ideas from all over. I save screenshots on my phone, or I take photos with my phone of things that inspire me throughout the year, and I build stories and concepts for all of my photo projects. And ideas, though, you know, they've never really been an issue for me, I guess, but narrowing them down to things that I am able to do, which typically boils down like to budget and to what I am suited for as a model, that's really where the challenge is. But before I actually take any photos, it's typically a fully formed picture in my head of what I want that end result to look like. So I've been known to sketch out the poses I want to do so that I don't forget them. And I always have a story to think about while I'm doing the modeling. Like in this one, I was thinking that I was a socialite type that was like the cool girl that was hanging out in the bathroom during a pool party. You know the type, like very haughty and dramatic and, I don't know, maybe a little bit of a seductress. So let's move on to the technical process. I mentioned that these shoots are all about me, but I do get help. Raymond typically now helps me with the bikini shoots. I very much enjoy doing self-portraits. It's kind of the type A in me, but these bikini shoots are so much easier without his, or with his help, not without his help. I mean, like literally some of them wouldn't have been possible if I was on my own. That being said, I choose the gear, I hand him the camera with some initial settings dialed in. I explain the concept that I've come up with for the shoot and the look of each photo as we go along. I mean, Raymond is a great photographer and he will make settings adjustments if needed if we're using lighting. He's well versed in all of that. And there are times when he's had creative ideas as we're going along, but you know, this is my work and I'm pretty specific about how I want it to look. He is definitely kind and patient with me when he's helping me with it. And you know, I think I just thought of a specific time when he was helpful. He actually suggested that I do a comparison shot, like a remake of something in these bikini shoots. And I've done it a couple of times. This is what I mean. In this one, we recreated a shot from 2010 in 2013. And then in this one, we recreated a 2013 shot in 2015. And I think that this was just a really fun way to challenge myself. Now for other technical process stuff. I mentioned that there's a budget earlier. Of course, we all have budgets, right? And that's always a factor. I have the gear that I have. I don't have, for example, a high-end DSLR underwater case. I wish I could. They're very expensive. So while I think that like an all underwater shoot would be cool, I have this really cool mermaid idea. I'm not really equipped for it. I don't have the underwater case. I don't have like the tail. Those tails are always very expensive. I do have, I have like an underwater bag, but Raymond hates using it. I had a underwater case for a point and shoot camera, which I've definitely used. I've used both of those things in shoots before, but neither one of them is ideal, so I haven't been able to do those. I do have like locations that I would love to do, but I can only do locations that are free for the most part. Although that being said, I did tack last year's bikini shoot onto a weekend trip to San Diego, so I was able to be in a totally different location, and that was awesome. And then there's the issue of only having 2 people. It's me and Raymond. I could theoretically hire an assistant fairly inexpensively to help with, you know, holding a filter or lighting or something, but I just haven't been comfortable enough opening myself up to a stranger like that. We'll see about that in the future though, but typically, you know, each individual photo shoot wouldn't make up the cost of that. I think that's it for today. I will definitely be working on the format for these retrospective videos, how I organize them and such, but I hope that was interesting to see how I accomplish this type of photo shoot. I always like to see myself, how other artists, how their processes are and such. I am working on this year's bikini shoot right now. Actually, by the time that you see this video, I should have finished the actual photo shoot portion of this year's project. With any luck, I'll be sharing it with you next week. This one is definitely different from the others. It's a little offbeat. It's at a location that isn't here at HQ, and it involves a plastic kiddie pool. So thanks for watching, everyone. Here's a few more photos, and thanks again for your support. I'll talk to you soon.